welcome back. This is week 3, trying my new medication. It's been going okay, kind of a lot of the same as it was in the previous week, like days 1 through 4, not a lot of hunger, not a lot of thoughts about eating. And then as we get into like the 5th and 7th days, things start to pick up a little bit more. Something that I did notice is day 5, I actually woke up hungry. Like I could feel the hunger as soon as I opened my eyes. It wasn't super loud. It was just kind of there. It was like, yeah, I'm hungry. You know, like you get like that stomach feeling and like your brain's like, oh, we need to eat. We should eat. So I've kind of noticed that it came back a little bit earlier than it would have on day 5, because on day 5, usually I don't really get hungry until around lunchtime, though I still do eat breakfast. That's just something that I've noticed, and it's really interesting. I don't know exactly what that means, if that means anything related to like my medicine or my dosage or anything like that, but that's just something that was different from the previous week. I do feel like the fatigue is noticeable when I kind of wait too long to eat, I guess. That is something that I'm learning. Especially also, and I'm wondering if like maybe that's just kind of the way it goes when you're like not consuming as much, you're not as hungry, where especially on days after I'll do kind of an intense workout. I guess, for example, maybe I do like strength training for 30 minutes and it's kind of intense and I'm giving a lot of effort. Then the next day I will be tired, but it's not like the first week where I fell asleep basically like at the end of the work day. I just fell asleep. I literally fell asleep on the couch. It's just like I'm tired. And then that night I just fall out. I'm just asleep. You know, usually it takes a while for me to get to sleep, but in times like that, I notice it's pretty noticeable where I'm very tired. The other thing I would say is I did do a little bit of an oopsie on the day after I took my shot this week 3. I waited too long to eat and I did start to get a headache and I did start to get more nauseous than I normally would have. And usually on that day, I'm pretty on top of eating, even when I'm not hungry, but I was out and I was like doing things, so I wasn't really paying attention. And since I just don't get as hungry the day after I, take the medication, I just didn't realize, I didn't notice, but I did feel it later. So that's something to take into account. I do feel like, not that my clothes are really fitting that much differently, but maybe like there are clothes in my closet that like I just wouldn't grab. Maybe I just wouldn't feel as okay wearing. I did pull out like a pair of jeans that I had that I was kind of like, I just didn't wear a lot. I did try it on and I did notice it fit differently. It wasn't as uncomfortable. It's usually like kind of a tight jean. I am losing, but it's not as strong, but it's just, something that I just noticed, like with the pants. Then I probably wouldn't have noticed that before. Something that I am trying to figure out in terms of how I feel about it, kind of going into week 3, I kind of feel like it's hard to know if my hunger coming back sooner means that maybe that's something I should talk to my doctor about, because that's something I'm gonna have to talk to my doctor about. Like, does that mean I need to go up in dosage, or am I fine where I am? It's just hard. I don't know. But next week is the week that I go to the doctor, so I should have more information about that, and I can kind of talk about that in the next video. I do feel like I did try a new protein drink and I didn't like it. It's just, how like there are certain things that like everybody's putting protein in everything now. So it's kind of like, oh, maybe this will be good. It was not good. It wasn't even, let's just turn into like a little bit of review. It wasn't good. And maybe that's just like not the protein drink for me. Really, maybe it's just meant to be one thing and it's just marketed as a different thing. And I would have just preferred it in its original form as the thing. Like, it's like a drink by a company that makes yogurt, and I just feel like their yogurt is better than the drink that they're marketing as a protein drink. So, and the yogurt has protein in it too. I feel like they put these big numbers on this stuff, and it's like not everything needs to have a lot of protein, All in all, that's basically it. All right, I had to redo that whole thing because toward the end, you couldn't really hear anything. Basically, everything's going okay. I did get a fortune cookie that like boosted my confidence a little bit. So I feel like that's a positive thing to get that cookie. Everything's going all right. Week 3. I'm trying to think of anything else like I said, week 4, I'm going to go to the doctor and we're going to talk about how things are going so far. But that's it. Week 3.